Hi, my name is Phelicia Price, and I am an economics professor and a yoga instructor. Well, I honestly became a professor based on a friend of mine that was already teaching at a university, and they were looking for economic professors. This was 10 years ago, before online learning was as accepted as it is now, and so it was very difficult for them to find instructors that were willing to teach in the online platform because it was still fairly new. And I just said, sure, I'll give it a go. I was actually working at ECU at the time, part-time, with Project Heart, and it was a perfect way to supplement my income. And then over time, it has become almost a full-time job along with my yoga practice. My passion for yoga began when I was on dialysis. It started with the meditation portion of yoga. I was honestly very depressed, sitting in a recliner 3 times a week for hours on end, connecting to machines, and my mind was all over the place, and I needed to find a way to quiet the thoughts, the negative thoughts that kept swarming in my mind. And so it started with the meditation process. From there, after a successful transplant in 2016, I knew I needed to be moving. You know, my doctor said that after my 3-month period, I needed to be active to maintain a good blood pressure, body weight, things like that. And I thought yoga would be a great way to ease back into movement. And from there, I had a teacher that asked if I would ever be interested in yoga teacher training. And on a whim, I said yes. And now here I am teaching at 4 or 5 different places around town. I have private clients. I teach corporate yoga, gentle class, restorative, and it has just opened up a world of possibilities for me. The most challenging part of my yoga practice now is actually finding time to practice. I was going to yoga anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, practicing because I loved it, and naturally that's probably why my teacher pulled me aside and asked if I was interested in yoga teacher training. Typically when you really love something, you want to share it with other people, and it's been a blessing to be able to teach around town, but it has become more challenging for me to find time for my own practice. The most exciting part of my yoga practice, my personal practice, is honestly just still being able to feel good in my body. I mean, after a transplant, every day that you wake up and open your eyes is amazing. And then once those eyes are open, being able to move your body is also amazing, because that's not everybody's story. Not everybody's able to move. The most inspiring part of teaching yoga, I would say, is just watching people progress over time, especially my private clients, and seeing how they have gone from barely being able to touch their toes to, flipping upside down and things like that. It's just really amazing to see, and that's also not everybody's story. For some people, older clients I have, it's being able to come and tell me, hey, I thought I was gonna fall, but I didn't, because I was able to control my balance. I was able to pull in my core and things like that, because that's a very real thing in the older population, having good mobility and being able to balance so that you don't fall, because at an older age, falling could mean a very big life change. So anytime anyone who takes my class says to me after, I feel so much better now. I've even had students say, I'm not stressed about my test anymore. So all of those little nuggets that you tell your teacher after class, trust me, they impact us quite a bit. Well, I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but my mother is from Greenville. So I've been coming to Greenville every summer to visit my grandmother. I have cousins that live in Grimesland, Chocowinity, Little Washington. So I'm used to coming here. It's like a second home for me. I went to ECU, my grandmother still lived here, and it was really beautiful to make new friends and still have family close by. She's not here anymore, but I still feel a closeness with her and my family that still remains here, living here in Greenville. And if I can be transparent as an economics professor, your dollar goes longer, goes further in Greenville than it does in Charlotte. So I like being able to travel more, save more, and things like that that I don't think I'd be able to do in the same profession that I'm in now if I lived in Charlotte. So that's why I'm enjoying my time here in Greenville. First, they just start with your breath. The beautiful thing about the breath is it happens naturally. We don't have to think about it. But then the flip side of that is the moment that I say, hold your breath, or take a deep inhale and exhale, you can manipulate your breath. So just taking a moment, maybe even placing your hands on your abdomen and feeling your belly expand into your hands, and exhale, feeling your ribs kind of cave in when you breathe out. And just taking some deep inhales and exhales just to calm yourself down before a test, even after a fight with a roommate, because these are all very real things that students go through. So just taking an opportunity to just stop and breathe. Another way to kind of close your mind to what's happening around you and go inward is to come into a balanced posture. When you're balancing, most of the time you're not able to focus on your test, that fight with your roommate or your boyfriend, or how you're going to pay Greenville utilities if you live in an apartment, because trust me, I've been there before as a previous student of ECU. So just maybe standing on one leg, coming into what we call our tree pose, placing your hands by your heart or even on your sides, maybe in a corner, not even facing anyone else. It's a great exercise even to do before a big exam, just as a way to kind of go inward, focus on yourself, focus on your breath, and not external things around you. I would love to see you in one of my classes. One way to find out my schedule is to go to my Instagram page, which is fit.fi.yoga. On Instagram, I post my schedule every Sunday for the week so that you can see what type of class it is and where it's located, because I teach several places around town. The typical classes that I teach are gentle classes, which doesn't mean easy. It just means that we're moving slower, we're holding poses a bit longer, there's more muscle engagement. I also teach all levels classes. So that means if you're a beginner, you're welcome to come. If you have been practicing yoga for years, you're welcome to come. And I do my best to make sure everyone feels like they get a good practice. I meet you where you are. And then another option is corporate yoga. If you're working someplace and you're like, you know, we are a little stressed out here, we could take a little yoga once or twice a week. I do that as well. I love coming into businesses and offering yoga because I worked in banking. I worked in corporate America for almost a decade, and I know what that hustle is like. So if you work someplace and you all are looking for someone to do corporate yoga, I'm available for that. Last but certainly not least is private yoga. If you don't think you're ready for a class or just don't want to be around a lot of people, you want one-on-one focus because you have very specific goals that you want to reach, then I love working with people. I have people that are older that I work with for balance. I have people who we don't even move at all. They have issues from concussions or post-operative depression, and they just need breath work. They need meditation, the same thing that I needed when I was on dialysis, a way to quiet the voices and find yourself. So if any of that sounds good to you or anyone you know, I would love for you to come to my Instagram page. You can definitely direct message me. My page is open, and I have an email. If your message is a little bit longer than you want to put in a direct message, my email is the same, fitfiyoga@gmail.com.